So it's Tuesday, May 10th, and we are starting about 5 minutes late. So thank you for your patience, everyone in the waiting room. Okay, welcome neighbors and everyone else who is in attendance. As you all know, the Reservoir Hill Association is an all volunteer run community association run entirely by residents of the Reservoir Hill community. And we welcome you tonight. If tonight's your first night ever joining us, welcome. If you are a regular member who's been attending, thank you for coming. And we welcome you to bring someone else the next time you attend. As usual, this is the way that our meetings are run. We begin with our board reports, which is just a short, quick snapshot of what we've been up to over the last month. Then we'll move into discussion of important topics for the month. And then we'll end with any announcements. And that's a moment where anybody in the community, if they need to, can make announcements. So just raise your hand at any point during the meeting. If you have a question, please use the chat to enter it, or feel free to use the raise your hand function in Zoom. Okay. And with that, we'll begin with our board reports. So RHA really has been busy this last month, really thinking about strategic planning. And what that has meant for us is really considering what our goals are for the organization and how that connects to the events that we're planning for this year and into the future. And I will leave it to the committee members to really talk about what that means, but it's definitely going to be an ongoing process. And then on top of that, that means that we've been thinking about our budget. And we've been thinking about the cost of running the organization, and certainly we'll be talking about that a lot later as we vote on our membership fees. Another thing that happened last night was the West North Avenue Development Authority met. We've been talking about the West North Avenue Development Authority a lot, and really discussing that we'd share more information as we were able to get it. So this was the real, I would say, the first real meeting of the community component. And during that meeting, we really advocated for more community involvement, a greater voice, especially for me, for Reservoir Hill, because at this point, the Development Authority is really looking at neighborhood vision plans and neighborhood plans to decide what the future of North Avenue will look like. Unfortunately, as you know, Reservoir Hill does not have a neighborhood plan. So that means that without our advocacy, we could be really left out of the plan for North Avenue. So one thing that we left the meeting knowing is that we will be electing a new representative, since Anthony Presley, our representative, has stepped down from the authority. And the other thing that we know is that the communities east of Fulton, which includes us, Fulton Hill, Penn North, Madison Park Improvement Association, we're all going to meet to discuss who that new representative is, and also our plans for our neighborhoods. So I do believe out of that meeting, we heard that only Fulton Hill and Reservoir Hill are the only two neighborhoods in the entire catchment area that don't have a vision plan. And so obviously that's a priority for us as an organization to lead Reservoir Hill through that process. I did see a hand, but I don't know if that was by mistake. I think very briefly. Okay, so I'll move on, but we have also reached out to the neighborhood design center to help us with that vision planning process. So we're hoping to partner with them alongside all the organizations in the neighborhood as we move through that work. Okay. So Jerika, I believe you said you needed to pass tonight. You didn't have any announcements, so I will continue moving on. Darnita.
Let's see. So last month's meeting minutes have been posted to the website, and were done right after the meeting. So they are available for review. And just a reminder here, all videos for our meetings are also available. And Jerika, I'm sorry, Keandra, that's all I have today.
I put myself on mute and then I couldn't find the unmute button.
That
Thank you,
is
Darnita.
okay. That is
Um,
fine.
Okay, thank you, Darnita. And on to Chet with the treasurer's report.
Hi, everybody. The IRS requested some additional information from us, which included descriptions of our activities, the who, what, when, where, and also we provided revenue and expenses from the past 2 years and projected expenses for this coming year. So that information was submitted on Tuesday of last week. So hopefully that process will move along smoothly from that. We did open a bank account with SECU, which is the State Employees Credit Union. So the bank account is open. We are able to take donations at this time. If anyone would like to donate, that would be great. We'll be ordering checks soon for that account as well. And the membership fee, the board discussed at our most recent meeting, different options for a membership fee. And we are proposing a $12 membership per year per member. We felt that that was affordable enough at $1 a month that it was accessible for most people in the neighborhood, and also should help us pay for expenses. We didn't want to make it too low because we need to pay for the website, the Zoom membership, anything we do as far as printing or mailings, that type of thing. So $12 seemed like a good solution for that. I think that's all that I have, unless I forgot something.
No, you didn't. I don't think you forgot anything. But just as a reminder for everyone, we are not, the board does not establish the membership fee. We make a recommendation that has to be voted on by you. So towards the end of this meeting, we'll hold a vote and a discussion on that membership fee. So as we go through the meeting, please mull that over and feel free to ask any questions about that fee and share your opinions about it as we when we move into that discussion. Melda asks, are any payment options set up? Chet, do you want to answer that?
We don't have any electronic payments set up yet. I have not had a chance to set up the online banking with SECU. We can accept cash or checks at the moment, but I'm going to try to get hopefully PayPal or some other system set up as soon as we can.
And one reason Chet recommended SECU was because they do have a pretty robust digital format. Like there's a lot of digital payment options through SECU. So I imagine it won't be too difficult to set it up. But I know that as far as a process, we definitely wanted to get the okay from you all before we proceeded to collect funds. So we wanted to make sure that that seemed like an okay amount of funds. So 2 questions about that. Jessica Pius asks, where can checks be mailed?
I'm going to put the PO box address in the chat for everyone.
So we set up a PO box at the local post office so that we could get all of our official mail in a place that was neutral. So that's where our official mailing address is. And then there was a question from Jesse Smith asking if SECU has Zelle. And Chet says, yes, they do have Zelle. And she recommends that as a great way of doing a fast digital payment. Okay. All right, so we'll continue. And I look forward to the discussion about the membership fee towards the end of the meeting. Rolando. Rolando is, there might be a delay for Rolando's response because he's actually out with Lauren, our green chair, shoveling soil and in preparation for the youth gardeners on Thursday. So Rolando's on. Go ahead, Rolando.
Hi, good evening. Chat. I spoke to Kim today. We're talking about partnership and creating a code board to enforce our historic preservation compliance. So we're planning to have a meeting hopefully sometime next week so we can get us running. And also, we also are planning to meet our new representative from the city, from CHAP, Lawrence Kitchener. We'll be setting up hopefully 2 days that we can have a walkthrough with her at Mount Royal Historic District, and then have her come and have a walkthrough in Upper Utah Madison District. So those was the things that we discussed today. And we need to start recruiting individuals to join the committee and have Black captains or individuals that can be the eyes and ears for CHAP. And that's basically it.
So Rolando, what kind of folks would you say should be interested in joining your committee?
Anybody that is interested in architecture and preservation of our neighborhood, and also someone that also would like to actually help us work and get in the entire Reservoir Hill as a historic district, because we have a lot of historical characters that still exist in our neighborhood in other areas that's not designed as historical, but they have a lot of historical characters still existing, and we like to preserve that.
Hey, Rolando, you mentioned the new CHAP representative. I think you said his name was Lawrence. Can you say that?
Lauren Shesnick. It's a lady.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No, I think that's it for now.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Rolando. Daryl McLean.
Hi, it's
Daryl is out here with me. I'll get him.
oh no, it's
Oh,
actually
okay.
Janae.
Sorry,
I'm-
Janae is actually going to do the report today.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. And
All
I have
right.
to apologize on numerous occasions because first about the social events that we're going to be hosting for 2022. So a reminder, our meetings are on Thursdays, the fourth Thursday of the month. And so I invite you to join us if that seems to be something of interest to you. So for this year, we have 4 events that we're going to be sponsoring as an organization. And so we have a fish fry, and we're looking at June to host that fish fry. We're going to be finalizing some decisions about it. So we'll have more details for you, prior to our next meeting. We are also going to be doing a virtual home and garden tour in July. So right about now, we are calling for content. So if you have someone that you want to nominate as far as their home or their garden, or you want to nominate yourself to be on our virtual tour, we are not bound by time. So we can actually start photographing your home and start putting together your own personal virtual tour at any time. We just need content. So please do reach out to events@reservoirhillassociation.org and we can arrange a date. Super excited about it. And so for our next event, it is going to be a movie night in August. We have a number of partners that we're going to be working with in the neighborhood. And so that is going to be August the 5th. We're going to work with the marketing and communications team so that we can get your input regarding what you want to see. So we have everything set up, working with InLife, an awesome organization that's going to help us with the logistics and setting everything up and partnering with us. We're going to be working with Friends of German Park with the venue. But we need recommendations for movies. So we're going to send out a quick survey to gather your input so you can be a decision maker around that. And the last event is going to be Soundscape on the Green. And so we want to hear from you about how you would, about different musical acts within the neighborhood, so we can spotlight and highlight some of our talent right here in Reservoir Hill or right here in Baltimore. And so those are the 4 events that we are going to sponsor. We are also going to be supporting some events in the neighborhood. And so so those events we're going to be supporting events either in the neighborhood or about our neighborhood. So the event that Maurice, Braxton, and I hopefully are going to be going to on this weekend is a live Baltimore trolley tour. So we have an opportunity to spotlight our neighborhood there. We also have Juneteenth, and we have 2 opportunities around Juneteenth. So AFRAM is going to be hosted at Druid Hill Park. And so they sent out a call for volunteers. If we have members of our organization that are going to be volunteering, we want to get together and have some type of hat or t-shirt or something or a button to let people know that we are not only volunteering, but we're also representing RHA. We also have the event hosted by the Community Presents. Last year, we played an integral role in bringing it forward. And so this year, they're going to be partnering with another neighborhood organization. But nonetheless, there's an opportunity to volunteer for that event that's going to be in the neighborhood. And there's also an opportunity to support the organization in other ways as well. So I know we've seen a lot of announcements that have gone out on social media. And so again, if we are planning on supporting any of those events, definitely let's talk about ways that we can brand our organization as a new and upcoming and action-oriented organization within the Reservoir Hill neighborhood. We also, and I think Keandra's going to cover this a little bit later on, but the Green Committee is really bobbing and weaving and sticking and moving and full of action as well. And they have like a whole curriculum, if you will, of activities that they're going to be engaging in. And they're going to have something on the 12th of May that Keandra mentioned as well. So we want to support that event as well as the ones that we've already mentioned, that I mentioned earlier. So again, really excited about the opportunity. We thank you for the opportunity to share what we've been up to, and we'll turn it back over to Keandra to see if I've left anything out or if there's any additional questions.
I see one question in the chat. Will RHA have a presence at the flea market on Sunday?
Yeah, I just heard about that. I was just at the Friends of German Park meeting, and no, but maybe we can chat about future opportunities such as this a little bit later. But at this time, we did not have any plans to have like a booth or a table at that event, but I definitely would be there for my own selfish purposes.
Yeah, actually, this is my first time hearing about it. So I didn't know that there was a flea market happening on Sunday, but I'm really excited to hear more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at German Park. Oh, awesome. I'll see you there.
Yeah. It'd be nice to meet a lot of you all in person who we've only seen online. Any other questions?
Oh, thanks for the update, Devin.
Yes.
Devin?
Yeah, Devin. Thank you, Devin. Okay.
Yes. Thank you. It's Devin. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, so again, if you are interested in any of the events that Janae just mentioned, we put the email in the chat, but it's events@reservoirhillassociation.org. And I think one thing Janae shared with me, especially about the home and garden tour, since that one is coming up sooner, and I know that there is a need for getting footage sooner rather than later. It's totally okay if it's a room in your home that you'd like to showcase, or a room or an area outdoors that you just are super proud of. It doesn't have to be your entire home. It doesn't have to be your entire garden. And it's about sharing your journey as a homeowner or as a resident. And this is also open to folks who are maybe running community gardens, who maybe don't have a garden of their own, but are supporting a garden. Or if you are in an apartment and you have a smaller indoor garden that you'd like to share. So we're trying to make it as inclusive as possible. So please don't be shy. Melda, your question about the flea market being on Facebook?
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of it too. And I was wondering if there was a link on Facebook or something we could paste in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually, I think Friends of German Park may have it on their calendar. That's kind of how I heard about it.
I'll throw the Instagram link in the chat because it's
Oh,
with the
perfect.
market.
Thank you.
Cute. Okay, and Lauren, you're up, Lauren Mohammed, green chair. Hello.
How are you?
Well, good to see you.
Good to be seen. I'm working, Keandra. I'm building trellises in the garden.
And this is the location where you're going to be having your Dorothy Height Partnership group come in this Thursday.
Exactly. So I'm walking toward the garden bed where the kids will be coming out on Thursday morning as a field trip. And they're going to meet their garden bed for the very first time. And they have plants that have been donated, got plants donated from the Kids Great Farm. And so they have tomatoes and lettuce and all kind of little green things that they're going to be placing here tomorrow.
Beautiful.
So Rolando and I have been working diligently over time just to build this box. He does the carpentry and I do the other stuff. And we, so this is our area and this will be the area the kids will be growing in. And I would like our kid garden to be featured in the home and garden tour.
Yes. That would be wonderful. So this is one of 3 green spaces that Lauren is working on. One is actually going to be at Dorothy Height Elementary School itself. The one that you're seeing right now is in Lenox, in the Lenox Street Community Garden. And the third is at the RHIC Community Plots. So Lauren has been really busy, and I'm just gonna go over your other 2 points, which is the Green Committee's meetings will be every first Sunday starting in June. There might be a May meeting, and Lauren will be sending out a broadcast about that to go over what's going on in June and what's up for May. And then Lauren is also going to be announcing a slew of community talks and workshops that she's planning, but we really want you to save the date for Sunday, May 29th at 10 a.m., where there'll be a workshop on composting in partnership with the Department of Public Works. There is, like Janae said, Lauren has developed a community curriculum starting from truly from childhood, from youth to 99. Lauren is trying to engage everybody throughout the entire community on what it means to be green and what does it mean to live in a green neighborhood. So I know, Lauren, your hands are dirty, you're out there, you're working, but I think it's a beautiful sight to see you out there in the field. And what do you want to share with everybody else? Why should people join you in your Green Committee this year?
Well, I think people should join the Green Committee if you're at all interested in saving the ecosystem, saving Mother Earth, eating for free, loving it, healing in the garden, being in the sun, getting vitamin D. I mean, if you just want to live a happy life, outside is where you want to be. But if you want to be effective outside, get engaged, get involved, and get connected. We're reducing, we're recycling, we're reusing, we're learning about energy conservation, water pollution, Baywise practices, native plants, composting. I mean, it's just like, let's just go green, guys. Let's go green. And if you want to go green, and I'm not talking leprechaun talk, let's go.
Thank you, Lauren. And then Melda had a question. Can RHA donations be directed to certain committees? And I don't see why. The Green Committee definitely needs specific support. I know Lauren is working on developing a budget, but for instance, we want all of our youth Green Committee members to have their own gloves, to have their own tools, to be able to participate with full knowledge within those gardens, bring that knowledge home, and for that to be really knowledge shared by the entire family. So, so yes, we'll probably put some calls out as to how you can support those specific initiatives. And so if you're interested in that, please do email green@reservoirhillassociation.org if you're interested in joining the Green Committee. And if you're interested in supporting specifically any specific initiative that Lauren was talking about, please do. I'm sure you can put a memo in your electronic donation or on your check, but we haven't actually figured that out yet. So we'll definitely get back to you on that. And Devin asks, are there ways for neighborhood youth to support the Greening Committee in exchange for service learning hours? That's a great question. Lauren, do we have an answer to that question?
Absolutely, because I'm connected with Nathan at the high school leadership academy, and he's had his girls already do some service learning hours at Dorothy Heights, and I talked to him today about bringing them over here to get their service learning hours. So anybody needing service learning hours, I can't sign off of it at this time, but Nathan can, and he would. He's an educator on Baltimore City School System, so he can credit anybody their service learning hours.
Wonderful. Thank
Awesome.
you.
I will email the Green email. So awesome. Thank you all.
Awesome. And so just to reiterate, that Youth Green Club is meeting every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. And the next meeting this Thursday is happening right at the Lenox Community Garden.
One correction, Keandra, we're meeting 11:30 this week because we're planting. Usually we meet from 12:30 to 1:15 on their lunch break. They take their lunch outside and we talk and do stuff while they're having their lunch. So it's usually 12:30 to 1:15 outside, which is still ideal if anybody from RHA want to come and listen in, get to know the kids. Yeah, we'll be outside in the same area where we did the green clean in the back of the school.
Hey, Lauren, can you share that information with me and I'll make sure it gets on our social media?
Yeah, Mike. Hey, Mike. Oh, I read your letter, Michael. You're still here, though. I'm so happy. So I don't know if I'm happy or sad, Mike. I'll send it to you, Mike.
And everyone will know why Lauren is reacting that way in a second. Mike actually has some really positive news. Not so great news for RHA, but in the short term, we're going to get him back, I hope, at some point. But I'll leave it to you, Mike, to make your announcement.
Well, thanks, Keandra. So what Keandra means by exciting news is I have a new job, and it is very exciting for me personally. But unfortunately, the nature of the job is such that I'm not going to be able to continue as chair of the committee because it's going to be a lot of nights and weekends and crazy hours. It's on a political campaign and it's just going to be nuts. So unfortunately, the big news from our committee, not the only news, but the headline is we are going to need a replacement. Sorry about the background noise. We're going to need a replacement for me as chair of marketing communications. And I will say that this is a fun position. you get to, talk about, creating great messaging for RHA, and you get to work with, the events committee, and you get to work with Lauren on the green committee. You work with all the committees actually. So you're like in the middle of the action. We've been lately having some good conversations about developing some strategy, as Keandra was saying, talking about, the mission of the organization. You get to be part of that. And also, well, we've tried to have a small group break off to focus on branding and messaging stuff, and we haven't been able to make that happen yet, but like that's something we're working on too. So if that's something that's interesting to you, let us know. You can reach out to me at the email address is right there, marketing@reservoirhillassociation.org. I will be here through the end of the month though. So we will have our regular meeting as we normally do next Thursday at 7. So apart from that, we've been fairly active. I think one thing I want to highlight is so on Earth Day last month, Lauren Muhammad organized this great event at Dorothy Heights School, and it was a collaborative thing with like different organizations. And so we went down there and did a little filming, and the video we put on Instagram got over 100 people viewed that video, that's fantastic for us. Normally we get like maybe a dozen people look at our stuff, and that's pretty good. So I think the lesson here is videos. People want videos, so we need to do a lot more videos. I think it's great. And the other thing I wanted to mention, so Janae mentioned it earlier that she is going to be at Poly High School on Saturday with Live Baltimore. That's the nonprofit group that promotes Baltimore City living, housing, home buying. And so this is great. So she's going to be there representing us, representing Reservoir Hill at their neighborhood fair. And in preparation for that, I have promised to create, so that we're not empty-handed at the event, some sort of handout or flyer thing. It might not look like beautiful, but it'll be it'll at least be something, and so that people will know a little bit about what RHA is and like why we exist and what we do, and eventually when we'll have like a really nice logo and all that. But for now, we're just going to have something functional. I think that's pretty much it from me, unless there's any questions.
Mike, are we able to do a QR code? Something like that for people?
Devin, I'm all over it. I'm all over it. We'll have a digital presence.
So a QR code that would link to our website or something like that? Is that the question?
Something like that. Yeah, so we don't end up like, producing a lot of paper, and just something quick.
Janae says yes.
A great idea.
Yes, please.
And Devin, maybe you want to join the marketing communications meeting.
Maybe.
Yes. And for those of you who are interested and want to learn more, please do join the meeting. And I think it would be actually a great time for folks to discuss who they would like to, pass the baton to as chair. Generally, during the year, we ask the committees to replace a chair if a chair has to step down. And I think it's if 90 or 60 days, 30 to 60 days have passed, then I appoint somebody. So, but the committee always has the first choice as to who they would like to choose to replace a chair. So I just want to make that clear to everyone. And joining the committee is always open. So if you're interested in what Mike had to say, what the goals were for the committee and what they've been working on, please do consider joining at their next meeting. And Mike, thank you so much for your service to the organization. You've been such a dedicated member, and even though you can't chair moving forward, we really hope we don't miss you at the general meetings, and we look forward to seeing you at events when possible. It sounds like your schedule will be really hectic, but thank you so much for all that you've done for the organization and the time and energy you've spent to make RHA what it is today. So congratulations.
Thanks. And I'll continue to be as involved as I can. Go to meetings when I can. I still hope to participate on the committee. I might be moving out of the neighborhood for a little while, so you may not see my face as much, but I'll be around in spirit anyway.
Wonderful. We hope to see you around. Okay. And on to Arlen in sunny Florida.
Actually, Texas.
Oh, Texas. I thought you were in Florida.
Yes. No. Taking care of some things for my mom. I guess the major things that have been going on in the neighborhood regarding the Planning and Development Committee center around the same issues we've been having. I was notified by Kim regarding a property that was made available at 2422 Linden. The realtor states that, it's a home with five bedrooms and can be subdivided and it's open for any kind of development. As we know, that's not the case. All of those potential zoning issues have to come through us. I think as a matter of fact, I know that our representatives are on board with having those come through the neighborhoods for us to air and comment on. The other issue is you have in here with the transitional housing. We have two neighbors on both sides of the neighborhood, the east side and the west side, who have been dealing with these issues. And they have been communicating to come up with a comprehensive plan so that we can be assured that any type of housing of this nature meets the required standards, so that we're not in a position where we have been as far as having an ongoing course of people in and out of houses and not knowing how many people are actually in the properties. So that's ongoing. When I get back to Houston, I'll be back, not Houston, when I get back into Baltimore, I'm actually coming back tomorrow night. I'm going to meet with those two representatives of our community, and then arrange a meeting with some of our elected officials, so that we're on board with that as we are with the zoning issues. I'm also in the process of coming up with a system for inventorying all the properties, so that we know what's available and the condition of those properties. Of course, it's not a one-man job. It's probably not even a 10-man job or a 10-woman job. But those are the issues that I'm working on now. I haven't heard anything else regarding the EV chargers. Last I heard was regarding the possibility of them being put along White Lock. And let's see here, block captains and dog walkers. I'm not sure what the dog walkers, I guess because the dog walkers are in the neighborhood, they actually see things that are going on. Actually, that's really what we need. We need eyes and boots on the ground. Eyes in the air and boots on the ground. So I think that pretty much wraps it up on my end. Any questions or comments on those?
I don't see any comments or questions in the chat, but yes, Arlen, the question mark with dog walkers was just an idea that came up, was folks that are out and about every day and are noticing things, giving them the tools to be a block captain and report any information to us that they see. Jesse Smith asked, any information on the sale of that apartment building, the Carlton selling? Oh, that's a good question.
The Carlton.
That's
don't have any
8201 Brookfield.
8201 Brookfield. No, I don't have anything on the Carlton. No.
Yeah, I heard it was up for sale, but I haven't heard that it has been sold yet. But I did see it up for sale. Okay.
Is that a recent development?
I
No,
think,
that's the unit on it's on Brookfield, right?
yeah, Brookfield.
Brookfield and Reservoir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that
Does anybody know why it got why they went out and did the sale? It's just because they didn't get that was that thing they didn't that parking thing they didn't get? Does anybody
No,
know?
No, they
it-
actually
it's,
were approved for that.
They were.
yeah,
Okay.
They
this
didn't-
is a purely profit motive. They put the apartments up for sale for double what they paid for it. It's in an opportunity zone, which is another issue we're having. The property on Linden is on an opportunity zone. There are tax credits for people who develop commercial properties in those areas. And those are the things that are going to have to be really astute to going forward.
Okay,
really,
they were just speculators.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, in short, that's what we were trying to explain to the BMZA, that they would just get the approval simply to sell it at a higher rate instead of actually make any improvements on it. And the BMZA didn't hear us, and they did put it on market as soon as they got the approval. So it's unfortunate, but it was expected. I hope I'm pronouncing Charlisa, would like to volunteer to be a block captain.
Yes, you said my name correctly.
Awesome. Do you mind putting your email? Do you mind direct messaging Arlen with your email so he knows how to contact you?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have two officers here. As you know, Officer Lee has retired. So we have Officer Gillespie and Sergeant Reed on the call to go over our stats for the neighborhood.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Officer Gillespie. Like I said, we go over the stats and give you updates on the recent shooting that you had at the 900 block and the homicide. We had one homicide to report, in 2022 compared to 0 last year. We had 4 shootings compared to 1, at 0 rapes. We had 13 robberies compared to 7. We had 16 aggravated assaults compared to 15. We had 14 burglaries compared to 8. We have 16 larcenies compared to 16, 8 auto thefts compared to 5, 0 arsons to report. Like I said, I got in contact with the homicide unit, and the homicide that happened on Morse is still open, and they're still, investigating, and they're looking for, if anyone in the neighborhood has any tips or anything, you can always call our homicide unit, and I'll put that number in the chat box. And the incident that just happened the other day on 900 West North, our detectives have a person of interest. They just have to, locate them and continue their investigation. Like with the robberies, just try to pay a little bit more attention. Sometimes it just happens, unfortunately. Try to keep your head on the swivel when y'all walking through the neighborhood, driving through the neighborhood, because of the carjackings are up. The ag assaults, it's probably, people just can't, it could be domestic violence. It could be people don't know how to handle their situation besides, just picking up an object and assaulting somebody with it. With the burglaries have always been a problem in the Reservoir Hill area because, everybody's, they're trying to come up to your neighborhood to develop. And, the individuals that's doing the renovations, if you don't have it secure, then they break in and they steal your pipes and steal the people's tools. And, with the larcenies, it's probably the package steps. You ordering packages and they get delivered and you don't get home in a certain time, and then people just see a crime of opportunity and just take the package. Like I said, I'll try to answer any other questions that the community has.
Does anyone have any questions about the stats or any recent incidents that have happened in the neighborhood?
I have a question. This is Charlisa again. There was a shooting on Callow Avenue. Do you have any information regarding that? It was a Callow and Whitelock.
Oh man, but I will find that one out for you, and then I'll email the president. You remember what date it was?
I want to say it was about maybe 2-3 weeks ago. The only information I do have is that a car was shot up, but I don't, that's all I know.
That one, unfortunately, I'm not aware of, but like I said, I can get with our DDU detectives and then I'll email the president back on what my findings are.
Okay, thank you.
So it looks like there's been a significant increase from last year to this year. Do you have any insights on why?
Could be, you know, that sometimes, like I said, this is a crime of opportunity. You know, sometimes, you know, like with the, like say like with the homeless or the, you know, with the package stuff, they did just reopen, you know, a lot of the homeless shelters, and then they put them out of the hotels where they were housing. So they could be, you know, coming through the neighborhoods. You know, as far as the package stuff. Like I said, you know, with the ag assaults, it could be, like I said, people just taking their, you know, aggression out on, you know, the wrong way instead of, you know, not thinking about it. Like I said, with the, you know, domestic violence, you know, we don't know what's going on with, you know, people inside their homes. And like with the robberies, it's like just a crime of opportunity.
Okay. Question, are these statistics typical for the entire city? I mean, is it about the same ratio?
That part, I'm not sure about what happened in another district, but I just know, you know, you have like throughout the city and, you know, United States, you know, carjackings are up. And then you have.
So I'm sorry, everybody. Hello, I'm got it. So I'm Sergeant Reed. Hello, everybody. This is my first time probably speaking to and seeing a lot of you. I'm glad to be here first and foremost, and I'm happy to help you with anything, you know, we can. Myself, there's Officer Gillespie, and then there's also she's a new face, but she's actually our replacement for Charles Lee retiring. Her name is McKinney Walker. She's on here right now. All right, so as far as your question in reference to the crime increasing from the year to date, there is a fluctuation through the communities of the Central District. Some places, in some areas, the crime dropped. Some areas it did increase, and it's like that all throughout the city. I think for the time of the year that we're hitting right now, it's actually pretty common for the numbers to go up because everybody starts to come out. The weather's breaking, things like that, and I think that speaks to what Officer Gillespie was saying. Let's keep our eyes open, be a little bit more vigilant. I heard a gentleman on here speaking about the dog walkers. Just keeping an eye open, keeping your ears open, just paying attention and just being vigilant. A lot of times, these incidents like larcenies or larceny from autos or auto thefts, crimes of opportunity, like Officer Gillespie said. A lot of times we're moving fast. We leave maybe a light on in the car. We leave objects in the car, plain sight. These are things that are going to cause people to just take advantage of the opportunity because they can. And like I said, I mean, it doesn't help that when you have more people just happy to be outside this time of year now. I mean, they're just taking advantage of the opportunity. So let's do things like, you know, I know we all have busy lives. Let's take the time to make sure the car's locked, hit the button maybe a second or third time. Any valuables that are inside the vehicle, let's try to take them out, or at least if you got to leave them in a vehicle for whatever reason, let's keep them out of plain sight, maybe tucked in the trunk. So things like that. The aggravated assaults, a lot of times, I can't say for sure with these numbers right here, but a lot of times these aggravated assaults, we classify aggravated assault as anything, any weapons used in an assault. So I mean, it could be something as small as a rock that's thrown at somebody. If you're hit with that, we classify that as a aggravated assault. But I mean, so we have juveniles out here. We're trying to get a hold of that situation and handle that. We're working with the state's attorney's office. We actually have a juvenile liaison that's in this building now, 4 to 5 days a week. So any issues we have with juveniles, we're referring them right to this young lady that we have in this office. But yes, the fluctuation in the crime up and down, it's happening throughout the city. But anything we can do, like I said, anything you can do to stay vigilant, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, anything we can do to assist. If there's something that you see that just doesn't look right and you know, it makes your hair stand up, give us a call. Let us get on top of it so we can check it out. I don't care how small it is. If it's a car that you're not used to seeing in the block, call us. We'll have somebody come check it out, maybe run the tag stuff. Things like that is jumping ahead of the ball and you know, tackling something before it actually kicks off. You never know how small of a call can actually be, you know, a big deal and actually, you know, prevent something from happening, deter a crime from happening, just police maybe being in the block. But I'm sorry to keep running on. If there's any questions for me, I can answer. I can try to help out as best as possible. If I don't have the answer, we can definitely try to find it for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Officer Gillespie and Sergeant Reed. Thank you for coming out and
Yes, ma'am.
Taking time with us. And if you haven't seen it, Officer Gillespie did put the Homicide Department's phone number in the chat. So that's 410-396-2100. So I think that's one way of contacting them if you have any questions about the statistics.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. I'll also add my my contact information, email address, and my departmental cell number. Officer Walker, like I said, she's on. She can put her information in as well. And if you guys need us, you can reach us that way.
Thank you, Ms. Walker, for joining the call. And yes, please do put your information in the chat. Okay. So we're going to move on to our discussion section. And right now it's 7:57. So we're definitely going over, and I'm sorry about that. So if we can, I do believe I saw Andrea Jones on the call to do a short presentation from the state's attorney's office.
Hello.
Hi.
I am still trying to figure out this camera situation on this new laptop. It says my camera's on though. That's the crazy part, but I see absolutely nothing. I don't know. This is weird. So I'm just going to turn it off because that looks like I'm crazy.
It's okay.
Just to introduce myself, my name is Andrea Jones. I am fresh with the state's attorney's office. I've been here coming up on 3 weeks. I am coming from Baltimore City Schools. I'm very familiar with Baltimore, born and raised here, just so you all know what you all experience, I experience. It is not new to me at all. I will not be one of those persons that sit on the meetings and come to community association meetings and act like this is strange fruit to me. Some of the same concerns that you all have, I live it too. I live in West Baltimore, so I'm right here. I will include some links down in the chat in a few, just to give you all some updates on what's happening. Y'all getting the Amber Alert? Sorry.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Just to give you all an update on what's going on in the state's attorney's office. Right now we're at from January to May 3rd, we are at a 97% felony conviction rate. For homicide, we're at 81% homicide conviction rate. Narcotics is 99%. Some other units are 96% in totality. We've had some indictments of 196 for felonies, 58 for homicides, 314 for narcotics, 896 total indictments since January 1st. As far as the term report, which I will put the link so you can view online, I will have paper copies. If you all would like hard copies, just let me know, Keandra, where to drop them off at. I can bring those by so you all have them. I know I like to have a hard copy because that's just my preference. Just a couple of things that want to highlight that are in the term report. I know we're so used to saying just the year report, but this one's the full term for Madam Mosby. Just maintaining a 90% conviction rate on average for violent felony offenses while continuing to repair that relationship between community and law enforcement by no longer pursuing low-level non-violent crimes in the court. In addition to this, Madam Mosby and her assistant state's attorney have worked tremendously on freeing 12 wrongfully convicted men who collectively served more than 300 years in prison for offenses they did not commit, and also serving 299 young people through the Junior State's Attorneys Program that I believe applications are still open. The State's Attorneys Program, and 580 elementary school youth through the Great Expectations Program. I will say that since I have been at the State's Attorney's Office, my favorite office, and don't tell them I said this because I'm in community engagement, but my favorite office has to be seeing the actual work from the victim and witness unit, and just seeing how much they assist with those families that are victims and witnesses, with grief counselors and relocating those families. To see that work has been tremendous. It was something that I think that I was ignorant to that was happening in the State's Attorney's Office, but it's tremendous to actually see them and those ladies' hearts pour out to those families. In addition to touching the lives of 152 first-time drug offenders, 87% of who acquired and maintained employment through their probation period, the entire probation. So more than 11,000 hours of community service was done by first-time drug offenders who are staying off of the street and out of trouble. So those are some things. Again, I'll put the link to the term report in the chat, in addition to my contact information. Under any information that you all have pertaining to community events, things that you all would like Madam Mosby to attend. I know she had her sister's funeral this week, so she's out of town. But anything that you all would like for her to attend, or for me to actually show my face with a working camera, I will be there. I will be in attendance. I promise. You're going to see my little self just right in there. So I will also, again, get with you kind of offline to figure out where to drop off some hard copies. And I haven't met Officer Gillespie or Sergeant Reed, but I've met with Sergeant, oh man, what's his name? I met with two sergeants from the Western District that are doing the community engagement. So I look forward to continuing to working with them and you all in this year as we can keep continuing on.
I didn't believe that you could actually do that in a few minutes, but you did it. Thank you, Andrea.
No problem.
And our condolences to Madam Mosby. I did not realize of her sister's passing. So please do share our condolences. I know that she had intended to be here tonight, and we did not really understand why she couldn't be. So thank you for explaining that. But we will thank you for all the links in the chat, and we'll certainly share some of the upcoming events that we would love your office to support. And I do know that we were using your office's website to read a little bit more about how your office supports navigating city systems in general. And so I know that we would love to tap into understanding how this organization can utilize your office to figure out how we can better utilize our voice within certain city offices that we feel like we're being unheard in. So I saw that was something that your office does support. So I'd love to hear more about that.
So Keandra, I will also note that I'm learning. So before I put it together, I'm going to finish learning it. Better how to use Court Watch and put together some sort of PowerPoint so that our communities are better familiar with it. Because I've noticed in a couple of community meetings, especially the ones with my seniors that are running it, that Court Watch is not too friendly for them. So as I get a better handle on it, I will certainly share a PowerPoint that in the military, we call it barning it down, that kind of brings it down to like the lowest level of understanding so that everyone knows how to use it.
We would love that. Thank you.
Awesome. No problem.
And very nice to meet you, and hopefully we'll see your face soon. Officer Gillespie, you have your hand up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I just spoke with our detectives, and they said it wasn't a shooting, it was a robbery, and the suspect started shooting at the victim. That's why the cars were shot up. And that was in the 2500 block of Linden. I mean, not 2400 block of Linden, by the German Park, by the store.
Thank you so much for that clarification, Officer Gillespie. And before Andrea, we move on to the next topic, does anyone have any questions for Andrea and what she just presented? Okay, so thank you so much, Andrea, and I'm sure we will be in touch. Okay. So moving on to the next topic, the membership fee discussion. So I don't know that we are meeting quorum to hold a live vote today. So I think what we can do is answer any questions for the recording, or ask any questions about the membership fee, so that we can do an electronic vote on that issue. So does anyone have any questions on the $12 amount, what it means to being a paying member?
Is that annual or monthly?
Annual. So that would be $12 a year, and the year runs from January to December. Any other questions? Okay, all right. Oh, I see.
So my hand is
yes.
So I just I wanted to offer a quick clarification, or that while the board is proposing $12, that really should be considered a floor, and that people who are able to give more are encouraged to. We did, as Chet said, we wanted to make the membership fee accessible, like almost 100% accessible, by keeping it very, very low, but also to recognize that in order to be able to fund our activities, we are going to need people who can afford more than the $12 a year to give a little bit more. So that was kind of the philosophy or the context of setting that price point.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mike, because we really debated that, whether or not to make it at the $12 rate. And I think what really sold it for everyone is we wanted to make sure that every single person in Reservoir Hill could afford to be a member for the year. And so that to us was more important than, meeting a minimum, like calculating it based off of our operating costs and just dividing it by the amount of members. We instead decided to make sure that it was accessible to everyone living in the neighborhood. So we looked at minimum wage, and we were looking at, okay, if we think about it as $1 a month, that it could be affordable for everyone, including seniors who are on restricted incomes, or those within our neighbors and our friends and us who are lower income. And so we just wanted to make sure that no one felt like they couldn't afford to be a member. And so membership qualifications are just about attending at least 50% of the meetings during a year, and then paying that membership fee. We've never required a membership fee until this year. So this would be the first year that we'd be collecting membership dues. Okay, so I hope that everyone on the call feels really prepared when you see that vote crossing your inbox to say approve of the rate. Oh, we have a question from Officer Walker.
And so I just wanted to introduce myself. I am Officer Walker, and I look forward to working with the community and helping address any concerns or issues that you guys may be facing.
Nice to meet you, Officer Walker.
Thank you.
And my apologies, it's Janae. You may have already said this. I have a suspect connection this evening, but Keandra, as you were explaining the $12, I believe $1 a month was kind of the way that it was broken down, and I thought that was a nice way of putting it all together.
Yes, absolutely. Just really hoping that pricing it in a place that feels really accessible to everyone was really the thing that we all agreed upon was the most important thing and most in alignment with the goals of being an accessible, democratically run organization that everyone could be fully able to participate. And even with that being the fee, I just want to share that we still within our bylaws, it says if you cannot afford that fee, that you can still email us and let us know. There's no one that should not be able to be a member of the organization simply because of a fee. We want to make sure everyone can participate. Okay. So I'll move into the last topic of the evening, which is our position on the BMP tunnel project, which will also have to then move to an electronic vote. So after our discussion last month, and after being in communication with members of the organization and our board, we believe that we would like to write a position letter that states that we are opposed to the BMP tunnel as an organization. However, in order to write a letter, we have to get approval from our entire organization in support and make sure that that vote is done properly. So we wanted to give some moments for folks to discuss that issue. If you had any questions and concerns about RHA having a position on the BMP tunnel, or any questions about why we would do such a thing, now is a great time to ask that question or to voice your concerns, agreement, opposition, before we move it to a vote of the general membership. Anyone want to be recorded on record for the discussion portion of the vote, because the vote is going to be held online. Okay, no comment is either really good because everyone's like, yeah, of course, or really bad. I can't tell how people are feeling about that idea. Okay, thumbs up from chat. Actually, I would love to get a sense, is there anyone on the call, and you can just say this in the chat or unmute yourself, do you not even know what the BMP tunnel is? Or confused about why we would have a position on it? Okay, doesn't seem like it. So you'll see the vote go to your inbox. So we'll move from there, and then we'll obviously share those results before next month's meeting. So we will, we're now nearing the end of our meeting together. Oop. So we're going to the announcement section. Here is a list of some events going on in the neighborhood. You should take note that there's quite a few dumpster days this month that you can take advantage of. It's spring cleaning time. So if you have a bunch of stuff in your basement or around the house that you've been just waiting to get rid of, this is your month. There is a dumpster day on the 14th that RHIC is hosting on Whitelock. Our board of directors meeting is happening next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. The Upper Utah Madison Neighborhood Association, also known as UMENA, is meeting on May 18th at 7. As you can see, the Dorothy Height Green Club, which is that youth club we were talking about, is meeting every Thursday. There's a community meeting for the West North Avenue Development Authority on Tuesday, May 24th at 1 p.m. There's another dumpster day towards the end of the month on May 26th. At 7 a.m. is usually when the dumpster arrives. And then on the 30th, the Planning and Development Committee meeting is meeting on May 30th. I realized, Mike, I did not put your committee meeting. What date is that? I didn't put it on here, I don't think, the marketing communications.
Thursday, May 19th at 7 p.m.
Okay, so Thursday, May 19th at 7 p.m. is a marketing communications meeting. Does anyone else have any announcements before we close the meeting?
Hi, so the Social Events Committee is going to be meeting later this month, the 4th Thursday of this month. And for some reason, I don't have my ABCs and 1, 2, 3s together. I'm a little bit under pressure, but nonetheless, the 4th Thursday. Thank you.
Please check your inbox for that announcement if you're on the committee, so you can see that event coming up. Anyone else have any announcements for the good of the group?
This is Jerika. You had the Juneteenth celebration that's happening the weekend of Father's Day. They're looking for volunteers and donations for the Juneteenth celebration and Father's Day weekend up at Jewett Hill, Jewett Park, up at the Jewett Park.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. Any other announcements? Okay, with that, we will close the May meeting. And please do join us on our website at reservoirhill.org, where you'll see a recording of tonight's meeting. And you can email us at contact@reservoirhill.org if you have any questions. And please do sign up, join our website and become a member today. And we'll be communicating with you shortly on how to donate to the organization. So with that, our meeting is adjourned. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.